Back. Tony Gonsolin was great today in his first start since 2023. Max Muncy hit his first home run of the season. Tommy Edman dealing with a little ankle injury. We have an update on that. The Dodgers get a day off before starting a 10-game road trip. We're breaking it all down next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
Tommy takes strikes again, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Gibby! Meet Freddie! Tommy sends one in the air, the other way, back it goes! Gone! One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season!
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Thanks for rocking with us. After the Dodgers get the win, they sweep the Miami Marlins. They take 5 of 6 on the homestand. They win by a final score of 12-7, out hitting the Marlins 17-9. The Dodgers scored 34 runs in this series against the Miami Marlins, led by old first base coach Clayton McCullough. Tony Gonsolin making his first start since 2023. He was outstanding. If you ask any of these Miami Marlins hitters, they'll tell you that, hey, he struck me out, that he went out there and had 9 strikeouts today, and he was absolutely sharp. He wasn't at his very best, but there was so much to be encouraged by seeing his outing. We're going to break that down. And then probably, no, most definitely the biggest story, Max Muncy, who had been slumping from a slug standpoint all season, riding his longest home run drought of his career, desperate for a home run. Finally today, he leaves the yard for the first time all season. Max Muncy has hit home run number 1, and it was in his 29th game of the year. He had a 105 plate appearance home run drought. His previous high was 79. So that definitely was promising, but we're going to break it all down, and let's get some of your comments before we do. We got, what's up, D-Mac? What up, Claudia11? Court the Crusader, D-Mac, what up? Great sweep for sure. And yeah, just being there, just seeing just the emotion from Max Muncy and just kind of the relief, really. And he talked about it after the game. We'll kind of get into that as well. But, yeah, kind of before we get into anything, don't want to kind of bury the lead, too. I just want to give a quick update on Tommy Edman. So Tommy Edman was not in the lineup today, and the reason was because he tweaked his ankle in yesterday's win. If you look at the replay, there's a little tweak. He's going around third, and he's coming home, and you just kind of see him just being a little ginger on it, and Dave Roberts said that he got some treatment, that they were planning on giving him a day off most likely anyway. Of course, he was supposed to be off a couple days ago and was a pinch hitter in the 8th and ended up hitting that walk-off hit. But they're going to give him the day off, of course, tomorrow. The Dodgers have a day off before their series against the Braves, and Dave expects him to be in the lineup on Friday. If he's not in the lineup on Friday, he'll most certainly be in the lineup on Saturday. So I can just tell you from based on people I've talked to that they're not concerned about this. This is a little tweak. He's going to be fine. I don't think this is something that lingers for Tommy Edman. He had been scuffling a little bit at the plate before that walk-off hit, so to kind of get him going. I talked to him a couple days ago in the Dodgers clubhouse, and he said, yeah, that walk-off hit is something that can give you a bunch of momentum and lock you back in. So I'm not concerned about Tommy Edman, but he was noticeably absent today. And the latest is that Dave Roberts did say that he expects him to be in the lineup on Friday, but if not, then he'll certainly be in there on Saturday. So that is the latest on Tommy Edman. So, yeah, he was out. But let's get into this one, man. I mean, what a game at the Ravine. Tony Gonsolin making his first start since 2023. He goes out there in the first inning, and he looked like he just did not miss a beat. It looked like we saw Tony Gonsolin from yesteryear, from 2020. I mean, today was the first time he had struck out 9 since 2020, and you saw this stuff playing against lefties, against righties. He had the splitter working, he had the slider working, the fastball command was there. He was mixing in the curveball in certain times, and I thought that he was exactly what the Dodgers needed in this very moment, where you're losing a starter, right? You got Blake Snell on the shelf. You got Tyler Glasnow out for, at the very least, a couple of weeks. And now for someone to come in fresh and looking in his first start like he's going to be a dependable starter, then go out there and give you 5 or 6, hopefully 7 innings every 5 or 6 days. That's exactly what a team needs, especially when you're going into a road trip, where it's your longest road trip of the season at 10 games. But top of the first inning, I thought that he came out there, and the first thing I think was great was Michael Conforto, who did struggle. Make no mistake about it, Michael Conforto did struggle once again today. He ends up going 0 for 3, grounded into 2 double plays. His batting average down to 156. Did get a walk in the 8th. But credit to Michael Conforto for not letting the defense impact, letting the offense and the slump that he's going through impact how he's performing on defense. Because the very first hitter that Gonsolin faced, Edwards, on the 1-0, he hits one to foul territory and left, and Conforto makes a really nice play on it.
Flying there, a strike. That's popped down the left field line. Michael Conforto is over to make the catch and go over the wall. Conforto helping the...
So what a play by Michael Conforto for the first down. Then a couple batters later, Tony gets Ramirez swinging on a slider down and away. And it really felt like it was welcome back Tony Gonsolin there in that situation, for him to come up big in that spot, get the strikeout, get that first one back, and then he was locked all the way in. And that's exactly what you're hoping for early in this one, is to see that from Tony. Nice little strikeout here of Ramirez. Just really nice punch out, gets the strikeout, and that's when you know the stuff was going to play. And then you jump to that top of the second, and you got Wagaman swinging on a splitter down the zone. He gave up a single to Stowers, but then got a couple flyouts to get into it. And then the bottom of the second inning, Max Muncy at the plate, 2 outs, 2-1 count, gets himself into a hitter's count, and Maximum Muncy has been in a funk, and hopefully this gets him out of that funk. Funky Muncy going deep for his first solo bomb of the season.
This is 2-1 to Muncy. Is hit hard to center field. Sanchez going back, turns, and there it goes. Exhale, sigh of relief. Max Muncy has his first home run of the year.
By the way, Freddie Freeman's reaction where he has his hands up looking at the sky, that's just hilarious right there. You got to love that reaction. Look, make no mistake about it. Max Muncy has been trying to find his swing for weeks now, for almost a month now, and today was a big moment for him. And yes, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, it takes more than one good game to get out of a streak. It takes more than one bad game to get into a slump. But Muncy, he showed today that when he can get behind one, he can absolutely crush it. Hit that thing 433 feet. And after the game, Muncy told us that, look, it has been emotional for him. It's been emotional for his family. He pointed out that he thinks it's a privilege to be playing for Los Angeles Dodgers, for this franchise, for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but it's not easy. It's not easy to be playing for the Dodgers because of all the attention, because of all the expectations, because of how demanding and the standards of the fan base are. So he mentioned that. He was honest about it, and he said that, hey, it was almost emotional for him because of how invested his teammates are. And you saw the seed man, Mr. Teoscar Hernandez, Mr. Seeds, he showered Max Muncy not just with a couple, it felt like it was 2 or 3 bags. And that was extra special to me to see the reaction of his teammates. And also what Max said about hitting the home run is that, look, he feels like he's had good at-bats in the last couple of weeks. And you've seen more singles. You've seen more base hits. You've seen more walks. But he just said that he's struggled to just get the ball forward and moving the ball forward. And today we saw that. Moving the ball forward in a big way, hitting one over the wall. And hopefully this gets him going. Hopefully today was the true first game of the season for Maximum Muncy, and you see him really, really start to click and really feel good about things. I mean, the thing about Muncy is he's always been a streaky hitter. It's just you haven't seen the home runs in these slumps. And typically, even when he slumped, you would see a couple deep shots. Well, now you got a home run. Hopefully he builds off this. This is exactly what he needed, especially before the day off, before the road trip, to get himself some confidence. And look, I told you guys this before. You're so early in the season that when you do have some success, it can really boost your numbers up pretty significantly, pretty quickly. And look, just like that, after a day where Muncy, he has 2 hits, a home run, and a triple. I mean, he has the batting average at 194, and the weighted runs created plus at 78. So if he has a hot week, a hot 2 weeks, I mean, just like that, his numbers will be right where his career norms have been. So I'm not ready to say that, oh, he's all the way back, because like I said, it's going to take more than just a home run, a triple against a bad Marlins team to really say that. But I do think that for a player like Max, who's done it before for years, that sometimes it's just a home run like that you need to see things click into place. And he said that he's been watching a lot of film of his at-bats. He just keeps rewatching his at-bats. So it's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of studying. And he's put in the work. Now, hopefully, he sees the result. So really, really excited for Max Muncy. That clearly was the moment of the game to see a guy that he's averaged 32 home runs in his 5 full seasons. Anytime Max Muncy has been available for most of a 162-game season, you can pencil him in for a 30 home run season. He's averaged 32 home runs in his full season for 5 years, from 2018 to 2023. But yeah, took that heater from Quantrill, 433 feet, first homer of the season. Could not be happier for Max Muncy. It was great to see. But let me know down below, do you think that this kind of changes things for you on Muncy? Do you think that he is going to turn things around? Alfredo Munoz says, no excuses. Muncy's OPS was bad. Alfredo says, waste of sunflower seeds. Come on now. Jack 42 down below. What up, D-Mac? Baseball stress. Teo's on fire. Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez, he's absolutely on fire. He had a monster afternoon for the Dodgers. He had 3 hits. He's hitting 425. I mean, just you look at his last 9 games, 17 for 40, hitting 425, 4 home runs, 6 doubles, 15 RBIs. I mean, he's been incredible, and he was incredible once again today. But that home run for Max Muncy puts him up 1-0 early, and then you jump to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Dodgers start a rally, and as bad as Michael Conforto was for most of the day at the plate, he did spark that 3rd inning with that leadoff walk, followed by an Austin Barnes single. Then Shohei Ohtani grounded to a fielder's choice, but he runs it out, so that gives the Dodgers runners on the corners. He steals 2nd. And then Mookie Betts quietly put together a really nice series against the Marlins. Mookie has 10 RBIs in his last 10 RBIs for Mookie Betts his last 5 games. So he's producing. You're seeing harder contact, and he comes through in that spot right there, and that's what you want to see. Conforto scored. Ohtani scored. The Dodgers up 3-0, and then Freddie, he followed up with a single of his own. Couple batters later, Andy Pages, who just won't slow down. You let the kid get hot, he might just stay hot for the rest of the season. He singled to center. That scored Mookie Betts. That added another run. The Dodgers take a 4-0 lead. So the Dodgers get 3 runs on 4 hits. They take a 4-0 lead after 3. And then top of the 4th inning, Gonsolin back out on the mound. That's when you saw the swing and miss go up. Against Sanchez, he got him looking on a nasty curveball, froze him. And that was what was so impressive about Tony Gonsolin today, was he had the feel for that splitter, but it was working against lefties and righties. It was going left and right, east and west. He was working the slider down the zone, got some swing and miss with the slider up in the zone, was working the eye levels, and in this case, he snuck a curveball in there. So when his splitter's working, when the fastball command is there, he sets himself up for that curveball to play, and he did that exactly in that bat against Sanchez for the first out. And then Ramirez, next batter, he strikes him out with a slider up in the zone. So impressive use of all the quadrants of the zone for Gonsolin today. The Gonslinger was in his bag in his first game back. Then next batter with 2 outs, Wagaman, he singled to center, left the 4-seam fastball up, not the worst pitch, but then next batter, Stowers, 1-1 count. he throws a hanging curveball to him, and Stowers, he cranked it to dead center, 423 feet for a 2-run shot. That made it a 4-2 game. Marlins pull within 2. They get 2 runs on 2 hits in that inning. But the rest of the way, you saw a really good performance by Tony Gonsolin. More swing and miss. I mean, he struck out Mervis, swinging with a splitter down the zone for the first out in the 5th. Struck out Lopez, swinging with a slider down the zone, got him to chase in the 5th. So that was what's most impressive. It wasn't just, I went out there and I 8 innings, I was effective. It was the swing and miss. The punch was there, and that's when you know that he's at his very best. And then, top of the 6th inning, Gonsolin still out there, gives up a leadoff single to Sanchez. Then Ramirez, he hit into a fielder's choice to left. Then Wagaman, he strikes him out looking. But then Stowers, his worst enemy, he doubled to left. That scored Ramirez. That made a 4-3 game. But a really nice job with the runner in scoring position. And Norby at the plate, he struck him out with his slider down in the zone. Really nice late bite on that one. And then the Dodgers offense, they did what they've done all season long all series long in the 6th inning. They go out there facing Bender. Teoscar Hernandez, he was safe on a fielding error by Lopez. The defense was absolutely atrocious by the Marlins. It's one thing that should be a bad team that can't hit and can't pitch, but the defense was terrible. Sanchez wasn't good in center. You had just misplays, and it was sloppy. Did not make our guy Clay McCullough look very good. And then, unfortunately, Conforto grounded to a double play. But then Austin Barnes, he reaches on an infield single to short. They bring in Tinoco to pitch to Ohtani. Shohei draws a walk to give the Dodgers runners on first and second. And then Mookie Betts, he triples to right. Mookie triples to right. That scored 2 to make it a 6-4 game. And the Dodgers, they're cooking. They're scoring runs. You're pulling away, and you're going to take stress off your bullpen. Hopefully, there was a little scare at the end. And then Freddie Freeman at the plate, 2-1 count. And Freddie Freeman, the hard hit is back. The swing looks like it's where it needs to be. And on the 2-1, Freddie Freeman with a runner on third, he crushes a bomb to right. That makes it an 8-3 game.
That's hit hard. Deep right field. Watch it fly. Freddie Freeman goes deep.
So Fredericks of Hollywood hits his 5th bomb of the season. And then you jump to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Dodgers get another run after a Max Muncy triple. Can you believe that Max Muncy has the same amount of triples as he does home runs? Who would ever thought that? Almost 30 games into the season. And then Kike, he singled to left. That made it a 9-3 game. Conforto grounds to another double play. And then the bottom of the 8th, you add more runs. I mean, Ohtani hits a triple. Shohei gets a 3-bagger. He ends up scoring on a wild pitch to make it 10-3. Rojas hit a double. Teoscar hit a ground rule double. That scored Rojas, making it 11-3. And then Kike, he singled to left to score 10 to make it 12-3. There's just so much scoring in this one. And then top of the 9th, you had Yandres Gomez, recently acquired Yandres Gomez, back in and making his Dodgers debut. Got off to a good start, struck out Wagaman with a nice sweeper, but then he gives up a home run to Stowers. He leaves the yard again. Stowers cranks one. That makes it a 12-4 game. Gives up a single to Norby, walks Sanoa, walks Lopez, then Hicks doubled to right. And yeah, that scored 3 to make it a 12-7 game, but thankfully settled down, got the final 2 outs. The Dodgers, they win 12-7. 12-7 to improve to 21-10 on the season. The first time all year they've been up 11 games. They're now a game and a half up on the San Diego Padres in the National League West. They are a half game back of the New York Mets for the best record in baseball. So big takeaways. First one, this is a Dodgers team that got exactly what they needed on this homestand. You would have liked to take all 6, but the one you lost, Paul Skeens, was on the mound. So you're not going to feel bad about that. But then also it's the contributions to the other guys in that bullpen. Guys like Luis Garcia and Matt Sauer yesterday. Today, Tony Gonsolin and the rest of this pen. You have Jack Dreyer and Ben Kasperius. They needed length out of their bullpen, who has pitched more innings than any bullpen in the sport, and they were certainly able to get that. And then you couple that with the offense that scored 34 runs this series and then made it where this bullpen wasn't thrown into high leverage situations. So I think that is exactly what a team needs, especially when you're going into a tough 10-game road trip, the longest road trip of the season. So first big takeaway is you set yourself up really, really nicely for this road trip, and you did that by having that offense really get going, having the bullpen not pitch high-stress innings, and then you have some of these lower leverage guys going out there and eating big innings. So I thought that was awesome. And then second big takeaway, Tony Gonsolin, the Catman, is back. I mean, he's out there on the mound, and he wasn't perfect, but still, the way he pitched today leads me to believe that this is someone that he's going to be able to go 5 or 6 innings and be solid. That's what you want from Tony Gonsolin. I was impressed with the 9 strikeouts. I was impressed with the swing and miss, the way this stuff was playing, and that makes you feel a little less nervous about the state of the rotation. If Tony Gonsolin got rocked today, coming off the Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell news, then you would say, what's going to happen on this road trip? It's going to be tough. But guys are trending in the right direction that are pitching in the rotation. Yamamoto didn't have his best start, but he's been a Cy Young. Rogi Sasaki's going 5 innings for the last couple of starts. He's looked a lot better and more confident out there on the mound. Dustin May didn't have his best stuff, but still he looks like he's going to be solid. Gonsolin looks like he's going to be solid. Kersh, he's pitching tonight in OKC. He's making his way back. So it's not desperation mode for the Dodgers rotation yet. Other takeaway, hopefully this is something for Max Muncy. I really do think it has the potential to be. But at the very least, Max Muncy gets to kind of exhale, hit a little reset. I feel better about him. I do think that he's going to have a solid road trip. I think he is. I think that Max Muncy is going to have a solid road trip, and you're going to start seeing more of the Max Muncy we've seen for so many years. Like I said, he's averaged 32 home runs a year from 2018 to 2023, his last 5 full seasons. And then the one I'm concerned about is Michael Conforto. So Michael Conforto, mentioned it already, 0 for 3, a couple double plays. His batting average is sliding. His batting average is sliding further than Jador Sanders' draft stock. I mean, it is sliding right now, and you don't want to see that. This is a talented hitter. They brought him in for a reason because he had a really strong second half of the season, but he's down to 156, and the weighted runs created plus for him is actually at 72, which is not the worst thing in the world. But I think my overall take on Michael Conforto is, with the team having the success that they're having, and the success of just the offense now, it's a little more balanced with Paz coming alive. Edman still kind of doing his thing. The top of the lineup has been great of late. If those guys can continue to hit and it's less glaring, I think they'll give him, at the very least, another month to figure this thing out. But if they continue to have success and they're not losing because of him, I could see them going all the way up to the All-Star break to try to see if things can click, because last year it was after the All-Star break that he really caught fire. So let's not forget that. So that's where I'm at with Michael Conforto. I threw it out yesterday, some of the options they would have. If you feel good about James Outman, to give him a shot, right? You can throw him in center. You put Paz in left. Then you put Edman at second. You improve your defense at 3 positions. Hassan Kim, you could put him at second. You could put Edman at center if you want to go that route. I still have my questions. And from what I've heard from scouts is it's very questionable if they believe that Kim's going to come up and hit right away. So I don't think they're going to be rushing to do that. But I really do think that you got to really be a little more patient with Michael Conforto. You really, really do. And the fact that, look, we saw it feels like Max Muncy is going to kind of just slip into a nice little run here. So if Conforto could have himself a big game, you'd feel pretty good about him as well. I mean, he's not that far off, right? I mean, compared to like where, let's say, Gavin Lux was at this point last season, right? His weighted runs created plus is still in the 70s. That tells you a good solid week can put him at near league average. A good solid 2 weeks can have him at or above league average. Okay, so we're not in desperation mode with him yet, but I do think they'll give him to at least May to figure it out. I think possibly till after the All-Star break or near the All-Star break too, if he continues to struggle like this. And it's good to see him make a nice play defensively. But yep, that was a great series for the Dodgers. You sweep the Marlins. You got terrible defense for that team. It's just a bad franchise, for being completely honest. And the other big takeaway, like I said, Tony Gonsolin goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs on 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, no walks, just 77 pitches to get through those 6 innings, 17 swings and misses. That's the second highest for a Dodgers starting pitcher this season. So that was impressive for a guy that hasn't pitched since 2023, didn't look rusty at all. So really love seeing that from Tony Gonsolin. All right, guys, so now it's all about you. On all your takes on all things Dodger baseball, what did you think about the win? What are your thoughts on Max Muncy? Mixie, Felix, D-Mac, Big Mac, time for a comeback. Lakers in 7. I love that. I love you doing those things. I'm going to give you a comment of the show for that. We've got trade Conforto for Randy. That's from Los Dodgers. So you want to trade Michael Conforto for Randy Arozarena. I mean, they had an opportunity to get him last year, right, before he ended up in Seattle. Let's check on Randy, because I know that Arozarena makes Dodgers fans very Randy. Wow, he's having a good year. He really is. I mean, he's hitting around 200, but don't look at that. That's not the ultimate indicator of success. He's been 33% above league average. Conforto's been 28% below league average. Randy has 5 home runs and 6 doubles, 18 RBIs, 8 stolen bases. So, yeah, he's all taking a ton of walks. 21 walks on the year. Walk rate's at 16%. So, Randy, that's hey, who knows? Who knows? I mean, the thing about Randy Arozarena is you don't know if the Mariners are going to be sellers. And defensively, he hasn't been awesome, but I will say he only has 1 more year of team control. So if they are going to be sellers, man, wouldn't that be kind of cool? Randy Arozarena on the Dodgers. Feels like we've been trying to will that for years. Nando, 390. Conforto trying to set the record for most double plays in a season. Yeah, it really has piled up for him. Just grounding into double plays has kind of made what's already been a rough stretch for him feel even worse. A rough stretch for him has felt even worse just because a lot of them are inning ending. And that is something that always kind of just makes guys, when they're struggling, feel like, like things are snowballing. Things are not going my way. And you just hate to see that for sure because, yeah, I mean, this is someone that, I mean, look, I said before, I mean, based on his batted ball profile, I did feel like maybe he could be this year's one-year wonder all-star like we saw from J.D. Martinez and Teoscar Hernandez, but that just has not been the case. He has fallen into a slump, and, yeah, the question is, can he get himself out of this? Because they're going to give him the playing time. They are. And if you look at where he's been, his last 11 games, he's 3 for his last 37, hitting 81. So that's an extended slump, man. That is an extended slump. So I don't know what he has to do, man. Sleep on a different side of the bed, put on his lucky shirt. I don't know. Go see Kike's optometrist, Muncy's chiropractor. I don't know what he has to do, but do things differently. Do things differently. Shave your head like Gonsolin. I don't know, man. But I want to see him succeed, and I want to see him work out for this team because when he's on, he's really, really good. I mean, he can really, really rake for sure. We've got Roy Estrada, Gonsolin, most efficient outing by a starter. Yeah, it was. Alex Renteria says, hairless Catman wasn't throwing hard. I hope his command is on point. Yeah, I mean, he was locating. He really, really was. And that was the biggest key, was that fastball, setting up the splitter to lefties and righties, and also having that slider early on. I mean, his stuff was just really, really as good as I've seen it in a while. In a long time. And this looked like pre-injury Tony Gonsolin before he was just pitching through stuff. So that was the big takeaway for me too. Just he looked healthy. As far as the velocity though, it was solid. It was right where you want to see Tony Gonsolin. Maybe a tad bit higher, but in his first game back, I mean, he topped out at 95. He averaged 92.6. And those are very Gonsolin-ish. He threw 29 fastballs, 21 sliders, 16 splitters, and 11 curveballs. So he threw more curveballs than we're used to seeing from him, too. We got Kersh 2025 debut. Ray Soto, what's up? Let's keep it going, guys. I'm purring. That's from Delirium 9. MP 821, I believe in my glorious King LeBron. You guys, Lakers fans, are we worried about tonight? Claudia 11, Dave Roberts reassured Conforto that they're going to stick with him. And yeah, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. And that is what Dave said. So that is going to be the plan. And Dave has been extremely loyal with a lot of guys that have been in this organization for an extended period of time, but that doesn't mean he won't do it for someone that is here on his first stint in his first year, because he is a veteran. And that's what Dave Roberts told us is, look, he trusts veterans because they've been in this league for a long time. They have been in these situations before, and they have the mental toughness and just the ability to know how to get themselves out of these slumps. And you hope that happens for Michael Conforto. We got how about the dropped ball by Conforto? That's from Roy Estrada. Yeah, he did drop one today. You saw a couple misplays. I mean, the funny thing about that is they still got the out at second because the Marlins just couldn't do anything right on the field in the base pass. I mean, that was just kind of like plaguing them on this one. So yeah, that was a drop ball. I mean, would that happen at night? Probably not. He also made a nice play in foul territory that helped Tony Gonsolin early in getting off to a good start. So I thought that was definitely really, really beneficial for sure. We have the sun was brutal today. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was hot out there, man. Court the Crusader, going to watch the weekend series with my family. Who like the Braves? Yeah, it's always a big deal. Dodgers, Braves, big rivalry. Late 80s, early 90s, 2018. I mean, who forgets? I mean, I'll never forget 2013. Juan Uribe making the Ravine shake. Craig Kimbrell is still, fun fact, waiting in the bullpen for his chance to come out and pitch. And then who can forget 2020? The Dodgers coming back down 3-1 for the first time in franchise history to win that series and go on to win the World Series. So that was pretty awesome. Mr. Classic says $17 million is tough to swallow. Absolutely. Alex Andrade, Muncy is going to rake. Yeah, I think so too. I think we're going to see him go on a heater, man. I really hope. I mean, think about this. That's going to be a theme possibly this season. And Andy Pages was dead to rights. A couple months away from being sent down. Now Andy Pages is quite literally one of the hottest hitters, not just on the Dodgers, but in all of baseball. Andy Pages is 20 for his last 43 with 4 home runs and 3 doubles, hitting .465. He has an OPS of 1303. Andy Pages' 1303 OPS is the highest on the team in the last 2 weeks. The second highest is Freddie Freeman at 1,098. Third is Shohei Ohtani's at 1,042. So, Andy Pages, man, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but yeah, I actually added Andy Pages right down here next to Mookie. I forgot to add him in my little team photo down below, but I was like, hey, I got to get Andy Pages in here, man. This guy's here to stay. And I'm happy about it, man. The guy's got a special swing. Here's the thing about, like, I really, like, as I know that people were treating Ha-Seong Kim like the backup quarterback, and I stressed this on the show from the very beginning. You have to give Andy Pages time because he's streaky. Look, will Ha-Seong Kim, I think that even if things work out for the very best for him, I highly doubt Ha-Seong Kim is ever going to have an 11-game stretch where he goes 20 for 43 with 4 home runs and 3 doubles. That's from a slugging standpoint, that could be a 50-game stretch. You know, I mean, I just think that you got to give Andy Pages some credit and realize that he's got a little bit of special in that bat. I really do think that. Alex Renfrey at D-Mac, nothing funny about a drop ball. What if that drop ball was against the Padres or the Mets? Yeah, I mean, look, it's all relative, right? I mean, the good thing is the Dodgers offense was explosive today. You want to play as much clean defense as you possibly can. But here's the thing. I mean, this is not a team of elite defenders at every position, right? I mean, this team is the best team in baseball because they can hit. They scored 34 runs in 3 games. So even if the Dodgers played average defense with above average pitching and hitting, you're a great team. But the thing is, their defense is actually trending upward. Mookie Betts is a better shortstop than anyone thought he was going to be. Left field, Conforto not great, but Andy Pages has been a better outfielder than anyone could imagine. And yes, he has his occasional misplays for sure, but that doesn't tell the full story about how a defender is graded, right? I mean, he's going to make defensive blunders at times. Just talking to some of the coaches, it's reading the ball off the bat as a center fielder. The ball almost looks like a knuckleball. So making that read sometimes is going to take time. So that's why you've seen him get turned around a couple different times. But he's also made some really nice catches at the wall, robbing some home runs for Roki Sasaki. He's made some nice throws. Really, the weakest part is the right field spot at Teoscar Hernandez. So, but the way he hits, you can totally justify it. So I really think that the defense, as long as they hit, won't be a topic of conversation. But you definitely want to be at your best for sure. I mean, just ask Aaron Judge. I mean, last year when he dropped the ball against the Dodgers, that was the first error he had all season. Delirium 9, Catman did it just like they do on the Discovery Channel. Nice. Throwback. Deep cut. Ain't nothing but mammals. Dude. Claudia 11 Paez is aggressive, and he's been leveraging it really well. Richard Reuter. I hit 2 home runs with Kim on the MLB The Show game. All right, Richard Reuter. That's all we need to see. Give you a nice little comment to show for that. You can hit it on MLB The Show. Perfect. You can definitely do it in the real show. Love to see that. Let's see some more here, guys. We got David Guzman. I just said on yesterday's show that Conforto hits nothing but weak ground balls. He's a double play rally killer. Hope he turns it around ASAP. He also is using the torpedo bat, I noticed. Yeah, I mean, the torpedo bats, the game planning, the analytics, the film study, sometimes guys just need to feel it. But I will say this, for now it feels like since Max Muncy's hit a home run, since Andy Paz has gotten on a tear, since Max Muncy has hit a home run, Andy Paz has looked like one of the best players in the sport for the last 2 weeks. He just won National League Player of the Week. Now it's going to be all eyes on Michael Conforto. He's the next victim of this guy's struggling. Let's talk about all the options with him. And look, it's understandable, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't say that or think that. I mean, you want to try to improve this roster as much as you possibly can. But I think that you have to remind yourself that this is actually a good thing for the Dodgers, because think about it this way. If you're going to struggle at a position, if you're going to have a player struggling at a position, and you're going to be looking at a spot on the roster and which position that you might be okay with replacing, well, you would probably say you would want the left fielder that's on a 1-year, $17 million contract, that the longer this year goes, the more that contract is less than the $17 million that they already have committed to with him, right? If Michael Conforto isn't good, they're going to make a move. They're going to either trade for someone, they're going to call someone up, you're going to shuffle things around. They won't let Michael Conforto hit 81 with no home runs, grounding into double plays, not playing great defense for an entire season. They will not do that. So ask yourself this. If it was any other position that you would say, okay, we'll live through him struggling in the first part of the season just so the organization knows that they have to make a move and address something there before the trade deadline, before they see what's developing in their farm system, it would be that corner outfield spot. Because if Teoscar Hernandez was putting up these numbers, you're like, nothing to do now. He's on a 3-year deal, right? Freddie Freeman's Freddie Freeman. Don't ever worry about that with him. Shortstop Mookie Betts, he's starting to hit and he's playing good defense, and he's Mookie Betts, 12 years, 365, and you never want to move him in the first place, even for a second. Max Muncy, he's on a expiring contract. He does have a club option, but there's the loyalty factor there. There's do you really want to shake up the clubhouse factor there? They're just more tied in with Max Muncy, right? Will Smith, 10-year contract. He looks really good. Tommy Edman looks really good. So if there's any position that looks like the Dodgers could move off of him, just kind of wipe their hands clean. All right, no emotion there. The fans aren't going to lose their mind. The clubhouse isn't going to lose their mind. It would be Michael Conforto in left field. So I think that if you're going to have a player struggle just from a purely evaluation standpoint, it'd be that position. Then if it works out, that's the best case scenario, right? If he starts hitting, you're like, okay, forget it. We even had this conversation. Let's go out there and watch Conforto ball out. So I don't think you should have too much of an issue with it. We got, don't forget, Paz is a natural combat outfielder. I believe he will improve, no doubt. Conforto will be a rocky purple. That's from Paul Gutierrez. Conforto will be in rocky purple very soon. Who else has noticed Mookie doesn't wear the hand protector anymore? You know, I was talking to Mookie Betts, and I was asking him, I was saying, hey, Mookie, are you not wearing Michael Jordan brand batting gloves anymore? Because he's a Jordan brand athlete. He's worn Jordan gloves pretty much his entire career. And he said that that new brand is his own brand. That new brand that you see the bat, they do the wrapping and they have these batting gloves, that's actually his own brand. He's actually in on that brand. So that's why he switched over from Jordan brand to this new Batman type baseball wrap. They do wraps for bats. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to me. I mean, so he's still wearing the Jordan brand cleats and everything. But yeah, look at that. Got the really cool bat logo across his hand. So I'm not so sure why he's not wearing the wrist thing. I'll talk to him about that the next chance that I get. But yep, guys, couple more here, and then we're going to be out here, and we'll be back tomorrow, off day. I think we're going to have Jose Mota on the show. So we'll talk to him about everything Dodger baseball tomorrow. Andy Pages and the rotation. Really excited to have Jose Mota on. It's been a while. So a couple more. You got 818 LAR YKA DMAC TBH. This is from Judge is a class act. Don't know why he's on the Yankees. Yeah, for sure. We got Judge Judy, greater than sign Judge from I Don't Know. Yeah, you got to love that. Yep, guys. Mr. Classic, let's be realistic. Give me the percentages of what are the chances of Conforto actually hitting 250 with a couple of bombs. Give me a percentage. I would say 39%. I mean, he's a big league hitter. I mean, 250 at this point, I think is probably, it's not the batting average I'm concerned with, if we're being completely honest, but going from I'll probably go down to like 26% on that because, yeah, I mean, that's never really kind of been the guy he has been his career, really, for the most part. I mean, if you look at his entire career, Michael Conforto, he has, it's been a while since you've kind of seen that from him. I mean, last year he had 237, year before that, 239. He's a career 248 hitter. So, yeah, I mean, he hasn't hit above 250 since he was an all-star in 2017. So that's kind of not what you're kind of getting from him just in general. So I would say, yeah, it's pretty slim on that front. But him being a productive hitter, that's a whole different story. You want to see more slug. I mean, that's kind of the big thing for him. He slugged 450 last year, and when he was really good, he was slugging, I mean, well in the 400s. So that's what you're kind of hoping for Conforto. But, yep, guys, that's going to do it for the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We'll be back tomorrow for Dodgers Dugout Live. Also, look for the highlights. I'm dropping breakdown highlights for every single Dodgers game. Every Dodger game, breaking down the highlights. You don't want to miss a thing. You want to rewatch it so you remember everything that goes on in these games. Sometimes you only remember the highlights. Sometimes you remember the bad stuff, but lots of stuff goes on in a 9-inning game. We're breaking it all down on the Dodgers Nation breakdown, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But you can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button on your way out for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Love having the Catman back. Max Muncy getting his home run. Great day to be a Dodgers fan. Everything's kind of looking right again. Back in sole possession of first place in the National League West. But that's going to do it, guys. And remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Tommy takes strikes again, and the Dodgers lead 3-0.